When there's a large group of people who see things that aren't really there,
Evil committed by men without motives, without conviction, without wicked hearts or demonic wills.
No te sientas menos que nadie.
The cyber mob is always searching for ways to affect you. They test you, they do something to you. Then they measure your response with the tech. What thoughts does the attack trigger? What emotions? What does the attack do to your vital signs even? This way, they can inflict maximum psychological and emotional damage. It's a scientific way to both give you complex PTSD and to be able to trigger it when they want to hurt you. As they engage in this destructive pastime, attack techniques will wear off on you or simply get boring to the crowd. So they're always pushing the limits to see what is effective, what they can get away with, or how much abuse the, quote, subject can take. What deeply angers me is that there is zero moral purpose in all of this, yet the group presents itself to the world as crime fighters or avengers of wrongs. And this cover story is accepted without question. In reality, they're just like a bunch of teenagers chasing thrills. It's basically a joyride for adults. At the same time as all of this, setups and accusations are piled up secretly against you. Attack after attack on your character to distract from and to cover up what's really going on. And all done in a way you're never allowed to defend yourself against. This aggressive strategy is a fearsome display of power which helps to enforce the code of silence and ensures that no one intervenes. The threat of similar mistreatment for any who cross them is understood by all implicitly. Year after year, you are told by bystanders to ignore the setups, the staged incidents, the accusations. You're told that since you're not being arrested, it doesn't matter. But the end result is that over time, your reputation does get destroyed, which ironically allows the mob to intensify the abuse even more, as the foul dividends of their strategy pay off in spades. It's shocking when you stop and think the terrible things people will do to others just for fleeting thrills while hanging out online. That your life has no value to them except as fodder for entertainment, or to them, you are no more than a substance to be consumed, a drug to get off on. This miraculous substance, given its potency by your suffering, creates for the mob a kind of special atmosphere of camaraderie, headiness, and euphoria, unlike anything else. Evidently, this addictive cocktail cannot be distilled by spending time with their family, friends, or enjoying any of the things they systematically steal from you. It's important for the group to let society see how they mercilessly torment their victims while grinning as if doing nothing more than playing a video game. You can add to that the clear message that they will use any means necessary to protect this blood sport and do so without hesitation. But this is still not the worst part for me personally. The participants seem fanatically devoted to the harsh, almost socially Darwinistic ideology they spout whilst engaged in playing God in their victims' lives. But when it comes to their own lives, to those of their friends and family, they think very differently. And this is the worst part for me. You see, these same folks who like to act as if they're victims are worth no more than the food on their plates, hold their own rights sacred and inviolable. Time and experience have made me realize this is the whole point of this phenomenon. It's mistreating, using up, and throwing their victims away like an empty shell. It is precisely this which makes their own rights so precious. Robbing their victims of exactly what is most valuable to them is the source of their energy. Robbing their victims of the ability to live life in peace, to pursue happiness, to succeed or fail on your own terms without constant interference, sabotage, and slander, to have private, intimate relationships with other human beings uninfluenced and uninterrupted by psychopaths obsessed with control, to be able to express freely your emotions, like pain, sorrow, grief, and anger, without being humiliated, retaliated against, or punished. To be irreverent, to think whatever you want about anything or anyone you want. All of these things are policed relentlessly by the vast mobs. A victim must not so much as smile at what has not been pre-approved, or else it can be a punishable offense. Both engaging in this behavior or watching it makes participants and bystanders alike hold all that they value ever more tightly to them, makes them appreciate what they have in ways that they never would have done so. And by the way, this is the intended effect of the psychological operation. Isn't it sad that people need to engage in such behavior or witness it in order to appreciate life? What a sad indictment of a significant percentage of the human race. It's truly sad that the rights we're supposed to be guaranteed at birth mean so little. The freedoms we're supposed to enjoy are somehow too abstract unless we see it all taken away from others, or we get deputized by the authorities and we have the pleasure of doing it ourselves. Unless we're able to check our prisoner's status on our phones all day, every day, eager to see what kind of torments and humiliations they're being subjected to. Unless we can electronically measure their pain and suffering and compare it to our own. What kind of citizens of a so-called free country can only feel free when they see freedom being taken away from someone else, or are being deputized to do so personally? What kind of citizens of the West or any other region that prides itself on being civilized can only feel truly alive while draining life from someone else as part of a kind of social media death cult? Progress will continue to be a myth until we can construct a new society designed with our actual natures and motivations in mind, and not a flimsy string of noble lies and platitudes. The challenge is, how do we keep that percentage of us that needs to tear down and have power over others in order to feel good? How can we keep those people contented and happy? How can we harness their tendencies and use them for the greater good, if neither sports, pills, nor God can ever be enough for them?